Back again, round 8 of the 2026 F1 season, with Haas very clearly pulling away in the constructors, and the drivers is hotly contested, with Lando leading Pierre by a single point. And speaking of Lando, he does have a development point, so we will start that off, and we will bump his reactions up so he has 90s minimum everywhere else. Any other dev points anywhere? No. Alrighty then. Post-race debriefs. We won by a lot, not a whole lot to really say about that one, and it doesn't look like there's a whole lot really going on before we get to the next race. Our race simulator is in poor condition. $4.6 million, 7 days. Go ahead, throw that bad boy in there. We have a little bit more time before we need money. In terms of car development, oh, our suspension simulator is also in poor condition. That's a little worse. I would have much rather have done this over the race simulator. I wish I had seen that. Oh well, $9.5 million. Man, these top level facilities do be bleeding us dry, but nothing we can do about it right now. So let's go ahead and get our race prep in here for Baku. Should be good enough to do so, make a little bit of extra money. All right, they're gonna be right next to each other. This is gonna be interesting. Lando is gonna get a major tow from Pierre. Let's see. Well, since Lando has pole position already, provisional pole locked up, we'll hop on board with Pierre, seeing if he can put it on the front row. Can he get by Max Verstappen? Lando currently on the front row already. They are flying. Will they improve in the first sector? Pierre does not improve. Lando continues to go faster. We are giving Lando the tow of a lifetime, and I think Pierre is worried a little too much about Lando behind him instead of driving in the clear area ahead of him. I think we may have our order already figured out. Pierre does go purple middle sector though, but Lando also improves. It's all gonna come down to this. The final back straights. I think Lando is gonna improve a lot. He's getting a major tow from Pierre. Who is it? Pierre. Oh, oh my God. Pierre. Pierre did enough to get it on pole for all of a tenth of a second before Lando puts 4.2 tenths on top of Pierre's head. The tow around Baku apparently is mighty, but nonetheless, it is a front row lockout for Haas. Lando Norris takes pole position here in this one, but it's a 2-stop for Lando. It's a 1-stop for Pierre. A front row lockout for Haas. Let's get this absolute bread. Let's see what happens here in Azerbaijan.
It's bright and sunny.
Bright and sunny. Just the way we like it.
This is what you've been waiting for.
The Haas front row looks beautiful as always.
And it's
Lights out. And away we go here in Azerbaijan. A terrible getaway for Pierre. We have a crash already. Multiple cars. Are we gonna see a are we gonna see it? There we go. No, that's Gasly overtakes. Where's the crash?
Now look at this.
Oh, I saw it in the back there briefly. Who's well in the back? Stroll. He strolled himself. There it is.
Let's see what happened there.
There it is. Here we go, off the rip. Is it Aston Martin on Aston Martin? It is. Oh, they touch. Oh, what a horrific turn of events. Oh, Stroll, you fool. Oh, what horrific turn of events. Stroll has a penalty, and he's 18. Oh, he has damage. He definitely has. Oh, yeah. This dude has so much damage. Wow. Get absolutely strolled, Stroll. All right, we continue on. And just like we always expect, Haas pulling out a large gap to start this one. Gasly with the fastest time so far. It is a Haas 1-2, a Red Bull 3-4, and a Ferrari 5-6. Ocon and Zhou make up the last points paying positions. Mandorin in the pits, Stroll in the pits. Their race is pretty much over at this point unless a safety car does come out at some point. But for now, what a day for Aston Martin. Verstappen falls out of that 1 second gap. We'll see if we can actually extend that before the next DRS zones and see if we can start to pull away. I know it looks like Verstappen is worried more about defending Leclerc and then attacking us. He finds himself now 3/10 down on the back straight. Pierre giving a bit of a look-see into Lando. Verstappen is not going to get DRS. Leclerc does. Leclerc will get Verstappen, and because Pierre did not overtake Lando, we now have a position where all 4 of the top drivers are going to get DRS off of each other, and this is going to be fascinating as Verstappen is fighting back against Charles Leclerc and does get back up into P3. And Leclerc is not having any of it though. Tire checks, by the way, tire checks. Oh, we're the only 2 on mediums. Oh, that's actually fascinating. We are seeing a potential soft to hard strat here. I was not expecting that. Honestly, the fact that we were able to pull out the kind of gap that we were says a lot here. It's side by side all the way through the top 4. Oh, the switchback of dreams, the defense. Gasly into the top spot. Norris falls 1 position to P3 for now. Honestly, at this point, we're not really, we shouldn't really be fighting these guys. What's up, early? Try starting the second a few weeks earlier. You see this? Hey, maybe we'll see. Starting the second a few weeks. I don't understand this. Potentially. Oh, you know what we can talk about that I totally forgot about when we first started is Haas's big brain decision to reduce the number of people on their pit wall from 8 to 3 and saving what they say like $250,000 over the course of the season, which can go to car development. As a Haas fan, I don't know if I'd ever heard anything more beautiful to my ears than that. I'm not even lying. At first I saw it and was like, what are you doing, you fools? And then they explained it and I was like, yeah. You telling me the Haas gets another $250,000 to develop the car in real life? Yes, I will take it every day of the week. They're starting the F1 season earlier this year, are they? I actually have no idea. When did they start it last season? It's the real question. I still have it saved. No, it still lines up. Oh wait, no, you're right. They are starting it a week earlier. Because testing was still February 23rd. And then it was testing in Spain 23rd and 25th. And then testing in Bahrain 10th through 12th of March, and then round 1 was the 18th to 20th. Is that because they're going? I think it's probably because they were originally trying to schedule 24 races, right? Like probably. And so you got to start earlier, and then obviously China dropped out. But the original start time stayed the same. That makes sense to me. Start round 1. Yeah, they start round 1 next weekend. Yeah. It's going to be a fun one. I can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm excited to see Space Nerds back. Yeah, I'm excited to see my first ever actual round one live. Unlike last year, where my round one was pretty much Miami. But I'm hyped. It's gonna be so much fun. We'll see the results of testing the end of tomorrow. And then we only have to wait a week before we get to see them back on track again, having a lot more fun. You're on a crappy cellular data connection. I totally understand. Twitch's cellular app is not great, if I'm being honest. Their mobile app isn't great anyway. But yeah, I totally understand. Been there, done that. All right, let's take stock of where we're at. Verstappen leads, Gasly, Norris, then Leclerc, and then the Ferraris, and blah, 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 blah. Did Lance get replaced this year, or he stepped out of the car? I mean, no, Lance is injured currently. The rumor is that he broke both of his wrists, but at minimum, he injured his wrists. And so at least for testing, young Drugovich is in the car, and the way it's sounding, if the rumor of him breaking both of his wrists is true, then I'm sure we'll see young Drugovich in the car next weekend as well for round one. I would not doubt it. Personally, I think it would be hilarious to see round one without Stroll, and just to see what Drugovich can do. What pit stops are we looking at here? Expected strats. 13 to 19. All right. So we're coming up to it. As of right now, we're kind of just waiting. Yeah, that's why you didn't see him in testing. Yeah, the report came out like last week, I want to say, like towards the end of last week, where he injured himself cycling and is going to be out for an indeterminate amount of time. They are still working on exactly how long he's going to be out. But if the rumors are true and he actually broke both of his wrists, he'll be out for weeks. Like not all week, multiple weeks. But apparently Alonso is doing enough in that car to make up for the lack of Stroll. It'll be interesting to see what he'll be able to do in that car next week in Bahrain. Cannot wait. It's going to be fan-freaking-tastic to see cars back on circuit in a race weekend. Gonna be awesome. You don't always take a lot of. Oh no, definitely. Yeah, there's for sure a good amount of sandbagging going on in testing so far. I always like find it so hard to tell as well, just based on like you don't know what programs everyone's running. Like you don't know who's on high fuel. You don't know who's trying to do like fast laps on high fuel versus fast laps on low fuel versus slow laps on low. I mean, you don't know what they're trying to do. So realistically, you enjoy seeing the cars out there. You enjoy seeing Formula One personalities again, but you really shouldn't take too much out of it until probably the end of the first race weekend. Uh-oh, Space Nerd's getting angry. Dude, I get it. The Twitch mobile app is not good. Put it on cellular data too, and it's even worse. Gasly and Norris are going side by side, by the way. We are 7 seconds ahead of the two Ferraris. My goodness, we're gonna be flying. At least you got NASCAR to watch till F1 starts up next Sunday. True. You know, I told myself that I was gonna start. I need to start watching more other racing series to buy the time. Like, they're there. We should take advantage of that. Like, NASCAR started up. I need to see if I even have it, to be honest. I can I should look.
Is that a new race position for Haas?
Is that a new race position for Haas? Yes, it is. All right, we have entered the first round of pit stop territory, as now the soft runners are well below, well, not well below, but below 50%. We'll likely see some boxing starting soon. The expected strategy said somewhere between 13 and what was it, 13 and 18. Now we'll likely start seeing some people in the box, but apparently not this time. We actually can attack with Lando here. We can try and put him ahead of Verstappen, at least. Perfect. Yeah, Fox Channel, you should have it. Yeah, I just need to look. I'll probably do that tomorrow, honestly. Let's see, it's on because I follow a lot of people on Twitter that watch, and it's super interesting in just a completely different way. I should have it. I feel like I've seen it in the past, but I just need to find it and remind myself that it's on. Give me something to watch on Sunday. I'm already considering converting Lando to the one stop. I think we will. He's good enough on his tires. He's actually good enough on his tires that we can convert him to the one stop. We'll just have to be very mindful of our stop lap with Pierre. We'll do that. We have the track position. I mean, we pulled away almost 9 seconds. Which people on Twitch do stream it on here under the NASCAR heat. Oh, really? That's really funny, actually. I've seen a lot of people do stuff like that. Just in case, that's good to know. Oh, also we've seen some boxing. Leclerc also already in the box. Looks like Verstappen probably will be as well. 11 seconds now separates P4 and us. If I had to guess, Verstappen's got to be in this lap, right? Like, just gotta be. Like, it only makes sense. Is he in? He's in. All right, now we drive off into the distance. Verstappen and Russell both in. We are away. We don't use team orders here, so we won't be telling Pierre not to attack Lando, but we can put Lando on push fuel to try and keep him on a little bit more pace than Pierre, and they can use each other to drive off into the distance. And away we go. Oh, time to get hydrated, everybody. Focus up. And DRS is crazy in Baku. I don't know why they always try and go to the outside before the slight right-hander that forces them to switch back to the inside? Like, why not just go to the inside off rip? We've also almost caught up to Stroll, which I find hilarious. What lap times we're looking at here? Oh wow, we're running almost a second faster than Ocon that last lap. Crazy. We'll see what it looks like here. There's every so often you'll just see Stroll just exiting frame as we come in. That's very funny. Go to the outside. Oh wow, actually stick it around the outside. 148.4 and a 148.3. Ocon runs a 148.7. So we're still running. Verstappen runs a 147.1 though. People do a watch. Yeah, I've seen those too. I've always thought about it, but the problem is it's so early for us where we're at usually, and so it's like usually we just like waking up and watching it casually. I have thought about doing it for practices though. Practices are definitely at a much more convenient position time wise throughout the day. But then, you know, then I got my actual like other job. And that's a whole thing. And I'd have to like take time away from my actual job. My other job is to do it. And it's just like, it's a whole thing. So usually I'll just enjoy it and then we'll talk about it whenever we get around to it. We have caught up 2-1. Lance Stroll. Oh, he does. He blocks. Oh, he blocks Lando. Oh, the horrors, the horror scenes. Oh, Lando. Oh my goodness. Stroll trying to stroll the rest of the field already. All right, they're already on like 90% hards. We're gonna have such good tires at the end. I think you might got to get permission to stream live sports, but yeah. So the ones I've seen a lot are the ones who we'll see who comes out of the next straight to see who pits first. The ones I've seen, they'll live stream it, but basically it's a watch party where everyone watches it however they have access to it, and then they'll just make sure it's all synced up and talk to it that way. But actually, like streaming the event itself, yeah, usually there's a lot of legal stuff that goes into that. All right, Gasly got through first, so Gasly gets to pit this lap. Lando will go ahead and set you up as well, but we're gonna delay you by a lap. And then we do be zooming. All right, Lando will have DRS all the way through. We'll hop back over on board with Lando. You should come out right here in this gap pretty smoothly. And at this point, it is how far behind? Only 2 seconds, 2.6. That Baku? Yes, this is Baku. It was known as round 8. Honestly, this game has done a tremendous job to me in learning the round numbers from 2022, and I'm hoping that F1 Manager 23 will be able to do the same for next season. All right, Lando is in. We move back on board with Pierre as he continues to try and chase down Leclerc and Verstappen. It looks like it looks like Pierre does get, well, is it really an undercut if we come out in the same order? We come out in the same order we went in. Looks like Lando lost about a second-ish. and on his end lap compared to Pierre, but we'll see this lap actually. But we'll see what lap times we're running versus Red Bull, and honestly, we have a major tire advantage, almost a 10% tire advantage or more over them over the course of the race from here. So we'll see these lap times, and then we will make a decision from here. So Leclerc and Verstappen run a 147.6, a 147.1, Pierre a 147.1, and Lando is, we have to wait for the next one. But honestly, we can speed this up a little bit. There's not really a whole lot going on. We could try deploying, but I think we'll have the natural pace over them in the long run. So we'll see here. 147.4, 147.1, 147.4, 146.5 coming in from Lando. Lando's got the pace. We'll see if he can get around Pierre and potentially try and drag Pierre forward a little bit. That's crazy. Always have to look at your setup for the track to remember what round you're on when you're on F1 Manager. That's fair. Yeah, I've played this so much that I've just oh, VSC. You're not. We shan't be boxing. We shan't be boxing. We will harvest and go on light tires. Doing no.
Now we see.
Come on. Is this? Did he lose it? Yeah. Just lost it.
Something went very, very wrong there.
That's tough. That's tough. The VSC will help us charge up ERS a little bit. We have cut down a little bit. Stroll is in the box. Just gonna use this opportunity to charge ERS. All the rounds run together after so far into the season. That's fair. I do struggle to remember the first half of the season is definitely a lot easier to remember than the back half.
Okay, energy's good.
I can 100% agree with that.
Good.
All right. Come on, how long is this VSC gonna be? This is the part where it takes really long. I feel like VSCs can last a really long time for not a whole lot of reason. The good news is Pierre is gonna have full ERS, and Lando probably will as well, if you know, if this isn't gonna end anytime soon. All right. All right, we're ready to go.
DRS is enabled. DRS is enabled.
DRS is back, baby. We got a good jump on them as well. I think we got the restart really right. Lando puts a second into Leclerc immediately. Just what we want to see. We can push fuel. We have 1.2 and 1.5 kilos extra currently. Try and watch this gap from Lando to them. The problem is they keep just giving each other DRS, but we're still catching them. We're catching them everywhere else, which is the beauty. That tire advantage is going to come in clutch very, very soon. That's a new fastest lap. Pierre, attaboy. Looks like Lando took it, and then Pierre took it right back. Pierre also now within DRS. It is back, baby. We are in the train. Those two are going to be fighting, and we're going to be right there waiting. Honestly, at this point, we can literally kind of just chill and wait. Like, we don't have to be in any hurry to get by these guys, because this race is far from over with 19 laps remaining. It's all going to come down to the final few anyway. Pierre and Lando going back and forth. Interesting. We are just flying so fast compared to literally everyone else. 15 seconds separate the top four from P5. I feel like that's just not normal, Tire check. They are below 70%. Love to see it. At some point, their tire is going to get worse than ours. We really just need to wait for it. We'll check in on lap 40 and see if we can make anything happen. And from there, we'll try and start picking our way past Leclerc likely. And so we can start fighting for the actual lead of this one. Will be Pierre's currently in third. All right, let's jump on board. Let's see if we can get Pierre past Verstappen at this point now. We're gonna use deploy and then check it up into overtake. Gonna get a run, put it into overtake, and see if we can get him down this stretch. All the way to the inside. Double overtake incoming. Oh yeah, baby. You go. Now we'll hop on board with Lando. We'll wait and we'll kind of do the same thing that we did with Pierre and see if we can we weren't really expecting a double overtake, but at the same time we will absolutely take it. All right, now Leclerc doesn't have DRS, and we've made this into two separate battles. And with DRS, this should be the simplest move ever from here. Leclerc will have DRS, but with our ERS, we should do enough to catch up, get into the DRS of Verstappen, and we're back. 9 laps remaining. Tire check. 63, 56 for Verstappen, 54 for Leclerc. The big advantage of like 10+% has gone, but that is also just entirely because Verstappen is very good on his tires. So Lando, we will bump you into deploy and then into overtake. And bada bing, bada boom, and just like that, Haas 1-2 again.
Is that a new race position for Haas?
Thinking about making a move on Pierre, looks like. Honestly, at this point, our tire advantage should afford us the benefit of being able to drive away with this one. I wonder if we bump them both into deploy, if we're able to pull away a little bit. We almost were able to put a second into Leclerc earlier. There's a 1 second barrier for Verstappen. If they fall out of DRS here, it is over. Almost 2 full seconds. Beautiful stuff. Back into a 1-2. And really, we did it in about 3 laps. That's what we love to see around here. You actually bump it back into the broadcast view and watch this thing unfold. Red Bull's now almost 3 seconds behind. 7 laps remaining. We are currently stuck behind an Aston Martin, which is like worst case scenario. Are they going to get in the way for Red Bull? It looks like it. That time is coming down for Red Bull though. Oh jeez. Aston Martin just doing all kinds of stuff. Lando does not skid DRS. Jai, welcome in. How's it going? How we doing? How we feeling? We're just wrapping up round 8. Baku is going well. We were chatting about F1 testing earlier. If you want to drop any hot takes in the chat, this is the time and the place. Declared 2023 World Drivers Champion. That is a pretty hot take. It'd be interesting to see if he can pull it out for sure. Although, I don't know if, well, again, we don't know. Ferrari hasn't had the most exciting testing results so far. Now, again, not that you can take too much results away from these testing days. He's naturally a better driver than Verstappen. I guess time will tell, huh? I think he definitely has a lot of potential for sure. It'll be interesting to see this season, giving Ferrari new team principal, new chief strategists. It'll be interesting to see how this year goes for Ferrari in general. I think Ferrari's definitely got some interesting opportunities this season. Definitely with I don't think it's going to come right off the bat. Claire, welcome in. I don't think Ferrari's going to compete as much as we think right out the bat. That's why Max massively barring last year, stayed in 7th down the straight, so Max would overtake and catch him on the next. True, but then that strategy also failed him in Jeddah. So realistically, I think that goes both ways. It'll be interesting to see the internet's overreaction to round 1 results next week. But I'm not going to take any major takeaways or major hot takes probably until like after Miami. Like round 4, round 5-ish is probably when we can start making some big assumptions and big hot takes. So I'll direct you to the YouTube channel, but I'll also tell you right now, we did our official 2023 season predictions on Wednesday, and we just posted that over on the YouTubes. But for the drivers, I had Charles P3, Lewis P2, Max taking the drivers championship. Also, Claire, how are we this evening? Thanks for stopping in. We're having a fun chat now that F1 is literally around the corner. Not but a week from now, we'll be getting to see the 2023 season getting underway. Gonna be so much fun. Also, we've casually just pulled a 6-second gap to Red Bull here with 3 laps remaining. Everyone on the hard tires is struggling. There's a handful of mediums and softs down there at the bottom, but not quite enough. You gotta say, if Lewis is competitive enough to get P2 in the standings, he won't get P2. The longer he has to be Max, he'll win the title. It's gonna get interesting. I think the start of the season may be what makes or breaks the Mercedes season, because they've already talked about how the car isn't exactly where they want it to be, and so there's definitely going to be a lot of opportunities to at the start of the season where Red Bull is just going to get a lot of points probably over Mercedes as well, and Ferrari is also going to be, you know, good enough that I think Lewis and Mercedes will come on really strong in the second part of the season, but I fear for the first half of the season. Lewis has already said he'll be a lot more aggressive against Max and not back out. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. He definitely needs to. I mean, hopefully the W14 is competitive eventually. Yeah, I definitely think it's definitely going to be a lot more competitive than the W13, which is a low bar to clear. But I think everyone's just putting a little too much stock in like the wind tunnel time penalty that Red Bull has, and then like the development. I think Mercedes is definitely in a better position to develop and challenge Red Bull than Ferrari is, just because, at least from what I've seen, Ferrari has not really been capable of really challenging Red Bull, especially last year, also last lap. And my favorite line when it comes to Mercedes is that you don't win 8 straight constructors titles because you don't know how to build and like develop a car. And so I definitely think Mercedes will close the gap as the season goes on, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. So the W14 is better than 13. Could be dangerous. Could be 100%. It could be. I definitely think it'll definitely be a lot more competitive to start the season than probably how they finished last season. But I think Red Bull's car is still was already so much further ahead of everyone else by the end of last season that we probably won't see the results of that, like I said, that wind tunnel restriction until later in the season. As everyone else closes up, Red Bull won't be able to advance as far, but they're already ahead. Who won? Lando won. Wow, they finished side by side. I did not pay attention to that at all. We're too excited about IRL racing. We beat Verstappen and Leclerc by 7 seconds. Let's go.
Good job.
What a race.
Stop, it would be P1. Wait 5
I think.
0.
Yeah, we're gonna learn a lot about the current state of the order for the constructors next week, but I think we'll get a good idea of who's going to compete for the drivers and the constructors probably about, I would say about maybe a third to like a quarter of the way into the season. I think we'll learn a lot. So from my understanding, the penalty is spread out on their total. Is it their off-season wind tunnel time, or is it spread out across the whole season? Because my understanding it was spread out across the whole season, which would obviously impact them more than not. Also, Lando 10 points, Pierre 6 points, a maximum point weekend for Haas, and now Pierre is behind by a solid 7 points in the drivers and constructors. We pretty much already locked up the constructors. I mean, look at this. Literally 3 teams scored points and we scored 16. Like, the constructors is practically over. But nonetheless, that's a good result for us. About 4.8 million coming in. Another win in the bag, and now we head to the next one. I mean, let's just do it again, yeah?